All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am kind of going through and double checking, and Heather's going to help me with, Heather and Renee are helping with the chat. Heather and Renee, you guys want to wave at everybody? And Heather's helping me check off the people on the roster. Lindsay, we don't have you on our roster, so if you...
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay, so next we're going to do just a little icebreaker question. If you were a vacation site, which one would you be? And just whatever pops into your mind, enter it into the chat, or you can unmute yourself and respond.
What was the question, Tracy?
If you were a vacation site, which one would you be? It should be up on your screen too, is it not?
No, I don't see it. Oh, okay, it is.
I was like, I see it.
Okay, it's there.
I would like to be in a ranch.
What? I didn't catch that.
I would like to be a vacation in a ranch.
Ah. Who else? We have any answers?
Alana said Dubai. Lauren said a resort in the Bahamas. Yeah, warm places.
The Caribbean.
Wava said the beach. Ayana said Hawaii. Kim said Hawaii.
That's
Everybody wants to go somewhere warm, except for the person that wants to go to the ranch. That's fun. Go horseback riding and stuff.
I like to run in the fields.
Yeah.
How fun. I want to go to Alaska. That's where I want to go. But I want to go to Alaska in like July or August, not like December. Anybody else want to share? If you were a vacation site, which one would you be?
Well, Rebecca Morgan said Venice. Let me scroll back up here. Kelsey said the mountains. Annette said Mexico. Tommy and Nagila said anywhere on the beach. And Samsung SM said Paris. And I still haven't got your name. If you could please tell me what that is so I can get you down.
Yes, and if you don't know how to change your name, let me know and I can change it for you so we'll know who you are on the screen.
Tommy likes fishing. She wants to go anywhere she can fish.
Oh, fishing. Okay. Anybody else?
I said Israel. Phyllis did said Israel.
Israel. I know some people that just did like a tour of the places Paul visited in the Bible. And I was like, man, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find out who Samsung was, Heather?
No, and Denise has her hand up. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, no, I can't see it right now, but Denise, is that still up from earlier or did you have it up again?
Sorry, it was up from earlier.
Okay. All right. So what do you guys hope to learn tonight? You can unmute yourself and share, or you can type in the chat. What do you hope to learn tonight?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. This is Nagella. I would really like to learn how to stay motivated when I do start a diet. Like I want to learn ways to stay motivated.
Okay. All right. Who else was that you, Phyllis?
Yes, I said, that since it's a self-care, what we're trying to learn is how to take care of myself better.
Okay. All right. Who else? Do we have any in the chat, Heather or Renee?
Sorry, I'm still double checking her attendance.
Oh, fine.
Um,
Renee, do we have any in the chat while Heather's checking attendance?
Let's see. We've got, uh, if I can make it work. Rebecca, same as BR, easy stress relief. And Annette Crosby said, learn how to take care of myself. Solutions to care for myself like I do others. I think there was one above. Boy, it's hard to get it to work right.
Yeah, it'll flip around.
Yeah. I would love to learn anything valuable that can help me succeed in being more healthy. See, there's one that I keep on cutting out on. The bottom of it says health issues I have to have and still work my daycare, but I'm not able. More about how to survive health issues, I believe is what it's saying. That's
Okay.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Okay,
I think
so
that's all of them.
pardon me.
I said, I think that's all of them.
Okay. So the objectives I had when I created this class were to help participants learn about self-care and how it supports professional work habits, such as dependability, time management, respect for others, independence, and teamwork, and how professional development opportunities are beneficial to self-care. Later on in the class, we're going to do kind of a brainstorming session related to taking care of yourself during crisis times. And so if you would like to, if you have something you'd like to share, you can like make a note right now to share it then. This is a judgment-free zone. I know we've all been through a lot. COVID right now, everybody, including all of the resource and referral staff, are dealing with the QRIS changes and all of that. And so there's just a lot of stressful stuff going on. So I'd like to do a little brainstorming of ways to cope with that. I apologize. I told you guys Heather and Renee were helping me with the chat. I forgot to introduce them or myself. My name's Tracy Hinton. I am the business consultant for North Central Oklahoma Child Care Resource and Referral. I've been in this position a little over a year. Prior to that, I ran a family child care home for almost 25 years. And I also was an educator contracting with CECPD, Southeast Oklahoma Child Care Resource and Referral. I would travel down there and do trainings. So I've done a lot of different things over the past several years. Heather and Renee, would you guys introduce yourselves real quick to everybody and then we'll go on?
Hi, Heather Cruz. I am the resource and referral child care coach for North Central Oklahoma. And I've been in this position almost 4 years. Before that, I was a Head Start teacher for 18 years. Happy to see a lot of familiar faces.
Renee?
I'm Renee Barnett, and I'm child care coach with the emphasis on infant toddler. And I have been in and out of classrooms, whether public school or child care for the last 40 years.
Thanks, guys. So, what do you guys see as the basics of self-care, the basics of taking care of yourself? You can unmute yourself to share, or you can type in the chat.
Enough sleep.
Enough sleep. That's a great one.
Yes.
Eating the right, keep eating the right food and having enough rest.
Yeah, eating the right food and having enough rest. Yes. Do we have anything in the chat?
Yes.
Okay, could you share some of those?
Gosh, keeps going on even though you try to stop it. Let's see. Whoa. Well, okay. Other people are saying rest, eating right, getting enough exercise, time for yourself, taking care of their body inside and out, allowing yourself you time, which is very important. Poor Charlotte, she's just trying to find time to shower. You busy lady. Rest, eating right, get enough sleep is about everybody else saying those things. Health management.
Okay, great. Thank you guys. Oops. So here's some of the things that I came up with on when I created the class, some of the basics. And I think you guys covered all of them. Movement, eating healthy, getting enough rest, stress management, and then professional development. So we're going to go through each one of those together throughout the class tonight. I emailed out a handout, but you didn't need to print it off unless you just wanted to. But I would like you to have some paper and pen nearby to because I'm going to have you creating plans for how you want to do some of these things in your life. So we're going to start with movement. So what are some of the challenges you face to getting enough exercise?
Can I just be honest? Motivation.
Time, motivation, yeah.
Body aches and pains, Rebecca said. Time and energy, Wava said. Motivation. I'm with you, Tommy. Energy, said Kawana. And motivation.
Finding the time.
Time, yep. Any other challenges to getting exercise and movement? So first of all, I want to say that exercise doesn't have to be anything like super complicated. You know, it doesn't have to be, I don't know, you see those CrossFit things, and I mean, more power to the people that do those, but I'm not going to be rolling a tire across the room, or what are some of the other things they do? Carry 50-pound bags of stuff, and I'm not doing that. It can be walking, dancing with the kids. There's all kinds of things, but I always say if you have an obstacle or a problem, then there's a solution to that. So what are some solutions to, for example, time, finding the time to exercise? Any solutions you can think of?
Implementing it into our daily routines.
That's what I was saying.
Implement into your daily routine.
Putting it into your schedule, with the kids.
Put it into your schedule with the kids. Which, if you're applying for the New Stars program, some of the levels, that's one of the requirements is 2 physical movement activities with the kids every day, teacher led. So perfect way to add that in. What about, and even like little things like parking farther out when you go somewhere to walk, so you get a few more steps, a little bit more movement. For example, like I don't get mail at my house. I have to go to the post office, which is just a couple of blocks away. Instead of driving down there, I can walk down there to get the mail, just finding little ways to add movement throughout your day. What were some of the others? Motivation. What are some ways you can motivate yourself?
Brenda said to do it early in the morning
Yes. Mhm.
instead of waiting.
Treat
100%.
yourself.
What?
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Parks and Rec.
Also, if you can get a friend to go with you and do walking or whatever,
Mhm.
the
Accountability.
motivation.
And I'm with Brenda. Like if I don't do it first thing in the morning, there's a very, very good chance it won't happen. If I do it first thing in the morning, the chance that I'll keep doing it throughout the day is better. Like I'll keep moving throughout the day. But if I don't start out my day doing it, the chance of me keeping it up during the day are not great. What were some of the other challenges that you mentioned? I think somebody mentioned aches and pains. I actually, when was that, guys? Heather and Renee, a couple of weeks ago, put on my big girl pants and went to the podiatrist because I'd been having trouble with my heels for months and kept putting off going. And she gave me like an anti-inflammatory, told me to get some plantar fasciitis socks, and I already had new shoes and new inserts for my shoes, and all of that is helping. But in the meantime, before that, I had found some, and I'll share the name of the YouTube channel later on. But I found some chair exercises, and one of them is like a little 7-minute chair exercise, and you do like 14 30-second movements in the chair back to back to back. And I mean, it is intense. Like my heart rate got up, but it helped because not only was I having trouble with my heels, I was having trouble with my hips, which I think was I needed new shoes and new inserts. But that was a way for me to get a little bit of movement and not have those put extra strain on those things. So just finding something that works for you.
Tracy, can I add to that?
Of course.
I know also like water exercise is really good because it takes a lot of the pressure off of your joints while you're in the water. So if you have an option to do that.
Yes, and like I live in a small town. I live in the small town of Pond Creek, and the closest place to do that is Enid, which is about 30 minutes away. And the chances of me driving to Enid multiple times a week and being able to do that are slim. So I had to find something else. But yes, and I love swimming. I mean, I would love to just go swimming several times a week. But I know myself well enough to know I'm not going to drive to Enid several times a week to do it. So
I got me a pedal, those pedals that you use at home, to exercise the feet, the legs.
yes, yeah. And I mean, there's even like, we have another childcare coach in the state who has one of those like bouncy balls she sits on when we're in meetings and stuff. And she'll sit there and bounce like the whole time we're in the meeting. It's a little distracting, but I mean, she's keeping herself moving. What were some of the other obstacles? Are there anything in the chat that you want to share, Heather or Renee?
Charlotte said she went to hormone therapy and discovered she had diabetes. So she's changed a lot lately and thought it was time to take care of herself.
Mm-hmm.
Annette said, think of yourself as important. And meditation was a good one.
Yes.
And Hikia, I'm so sorry. I'm going to tear up your name. She said YouTube videos, they have walking videos.
Yes, they do. And actually, that's one of the links or one of the resources I'm gonna share. Which ones do you like?
It depends on the mood.
I have a lot of her DVDs, but I also do a lot of her YouTube stuff, and that's Leslie Sansone.
Okay. It was a comedian. She started YouTube when she had a coach. So she was talking about it one time. And so I got on there. Hers was pretty good. It was intense though.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of your favorite ways to add exercise into your day? And what are your favorite exercises?
We do a lot of dancing. So we do baby shark every day, and then we do going on a bear hunt every day too. And we go inside, outside, wherever we're going. We've got it playing everywhere. So we can implement things like marching, dancing, being silly, wiggling, all that kind of fun stuff.
Right. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so far dancing and walking are the ones in the chat.
Dancing
Playing
and
with
walking.
the kids. Step exercises, singing and moving to songs, walking up and down the stairs. Dancing with the kids is a big one. Playing tag with the kids. Walking, going to the zoo on the weekends. That has lots of walking, dancing, and going
fun.
outside.
So here's some suggestions. These are a few YouTube, Leslie Sansone, which I mentioned, Jessica Smith TV. She has some walk and talk series where she's like doing some movement, walking exercises, and then like talking about some motivational stuff. And then Caroline Jordan Fitness is the one that I was talking about that has the chair exercises. And the one I've been doing is like a 7-minute chair exercise. But she has a ton of them. DVDs, which I know I guess at least I didn't say VCR tapes, but there are still DVDs. Jack Hartman on YouTube has a lot of kid exercise videos that are really fun and educational. Like one of my favorite ones was he had one where you count to 100, and he has doing 10 sets of exercises, 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 10 sets of movement all the way through it. And it's only about 2.5, 3 minutes long. But again, it gets your breath up. And then he has some that are like the kids, like you're making the shapes of the alphabet or drawing the shapes. So, lots of different things that are fun and get you moving. And then just walking, if you can, short walks around the block, short walks up and down the block, marching in place, even around the house. I mean, during when it's super cold outside, I'll just walk around my house. Anybody have anything they would like to add?
We walk at Walmart for 2 hours sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just
I can
looking
count
around.
on one hand how many times I've been in Walmart since they started with pickup.
We like to look at everything, even the clearance, especially.
Oh, yeah. I do miss looking at the clearance stuff. Not enough to actually go in there, but I do miss it. What else, you guys?
We like to do some obstacle courses. So like pillow obstacle courses indoors. If we're outdoors, you can just outline it and do things like that.
Sure,
Jump on this X, jump on that X. It's a fun way to get the kids actually wanting to do some physical activity. in an organized manner, especially the littles.
Right. Great. Thank you. Anybody else have any exercise suggestions they want to add? Do we have any in the chat?
Hello. Mama said walking in Walmart, playing red light, blue light, and catch. And then let me go back up. Wava said walking. We dance and exercise every day after breakfast and lunch. Play doing the limbo. Hey, it's been a long time since we did
Shout
that.
out to you.
Playing soccer, having races.
Great. All right. So this is where we're going to make our first plan. Take a moment now to create an exercise plan for yourself. If you don't exercise at all, start small. I started out, when I started doing it, I was doing 2 to 3 minute kid exercise videos. It doesn't have to be, you know, in fact, I suggest strongly that you don't start saying, oh, I'm going to walk 5 miles a day. You're going to need to build up to it. So I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to work on that, and then we'll share some of them. Okay, before we start sharing, I need to pause for just a moment and get information from a couple of people so we can make sure that you get credit for the class tonight. Lindsay, for some reason, I don't have you on the roster. If you could type your information in the chat, you can either direct message it to Heather or type it in the chat, but put your ID number, your registry ID number, your designation, and your email in the chat so we can make sure you get credit. And then there's a user Samsung phone, and we don't know who you are, and we need to know who you are in order to be able to give you credit for the class. So if you could either change your screen name so we know who you are and can see if we have you on the roster, or let us know, we would appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Did you get anything from the Samsung person, Heather?
No. Lindsay, is that a home or a center?
Rapunzel, we have your information. We just had a couple of people that we don't have, and we want to make sure they get credit. Okay, sorry. If you guys want to start sharing some of your information or some of your plan, whoops, you can either, I know we have a few in the chat, if Heather wants to start sharing those. And then
Okay, Annette said use fast music to get moving, such as dancing or speed walking. Kawana said 10 minutes of floor stretches, light yoga, leg lifts. Lindsay said wake up early to do a walk around the block and work up to running. Takia said a 5 warm up, walking 20 minutes. Goodness, now they're starting to come fast. Charlotte said just more movement each day. Lauren already does high step cardio about 2 times a week in the endings for an hour and 15 minutes. Woo!
no
Wayla
doubt.
said walking 3 times a week for 20 minutes. Kelsey said start working out 2 days a week, hot yoga, and start PT. Lauren said evenings. Kim said walk down to the mailbox, not driving. Driveway is really long. There's Samsung saying morning stretches, sing and dance along. Samsung, please tell us who you are. Tommy said beginning step exercises and chair exercises, alternating them. Brenda said make myself go for a short walk every morning, do 15 minutes of exercise videos every day.
Anybody else want to share? Thank you guys for sharing.
Rebecca said walk the dog 10 minutes before the start of the day, weather permitting. Is that Otter? He's such a big guy.
Tracy, this is Phyllis. I walk a mile a day.
Whoa, good for you.
Yeah, and I started out with that goal like last year. I
Awesome.
haven't increased it yet, but you know, it's every day. And so I missed
Yep.
my exercise tonight for Zoom.
Nagala said stretching more. Kawana said it's easier to do 10 to 15 more minute workouts throughout the day. And Rebecca said walking Otter is exercise. We used to have a beagle, and I always said that I did not walk the beagle walked me. Okay, one last call. Samsung, we need to know who you are. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we're going to transition from that to talking a little bit about healthy eating. Healthy eating, I think it means something different to everyone. Different people need different types of diets. Some people do really well on low carb. Some people do well on lower fat. I think like the general rule is trying to follow, which will usually get you like lower fat and lower carb, following the Choose My Plate format, which if you're not familiar with it is, and I love it because it's so simple. Lean protein, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, milk. And it's so easy to show kids because it's just a plate with divided into different parts. But basically half of your plate's fruits and vegetables, the other half grains and protein, and then some kind of dairy. Another way to look at it is there are go foods that you can eat almost any time. Slow foods, eat them, but in moderation. Woe foods should be eaten only occasionally. And I found when I had my childcare home, I started, instead of letting the parents bring tons and tons of junk for parties, I started asking them to bring like one sweet treat and then the rest healthy treats. And those parents would get so creative in what they would do. I mean, like for Halloween one year, I had a mom get those clear cups, fill them with green grapes, and then put like a Frankenstein face on them for the kids. Another one took those little the little clementine oranges and drew little jack-o'-lantern faces on them. And we did, I think it was like Grinch kebabs with like green grapes and strawberries and like a little marshmallow on the top, just different little healthy treats and cheese and crackers and things like that. And then we would have one sweet treat, and those kids loved it. They enjoyed the healthy stuff usually a lot more and ate it a lot more of it than they did the junk. So what are some of your thoughts on healthy eating? Anybody have any thoughts?
We implement it here pretty heavily just because we do have the gardens and such. We have the kids help out with the gardens, and so they find a lot of joy getting to eat what they helped grow and what they helped take care of.
Awesome.
Be sure to add more vegetables to your plate.
Whoa, there's stuff in the chat. Let me get back up there where it started. Annette said she's used my plate for 6 years and added plenty of water, cut out the soda. Good plan. More veggies and put more colors on your food plan, on the food program. So they have to provide it daily and make it fun. Gosh. More veggies and lots of waters. What most people are saying, offer more veggies, cut out the sugar and use natural sweeteners. Let's see. No artificial sugars, juice, or no red dye. Something they also aim for is 4 different colors on their plate and letting children choose their food.
And if you, I didn't catch it, was that who it was that was talking about the garden, but if you, if children help prepare their food, and especially if they help grow it, they're going to be a lot more likely to try it. Yes, Heather.
Lindsay said, well, somebody said, let the children choose their food. And Lindsay said, if she let her kids choose our little gremlins would only eat mac and cheese if we let them here. And she says, gremlins lovingly.
I totally understand. All right. So now your next plan to make is your plan for choosing some healthier foods, and focus on 1 or 2 concrete steps you can take. So instead of just saying, I'm going to eat healthier, say, I'm going to add a vegetable to my lunch and a vegetable to my supper, and a fruit to my breakfast and a fruit to my supper, or something like that. So be specific. And I'll give you a couple of minutes to work on that, and then we'll go on to the next part. Okay, Heather, I know we have a few in the chat. Could you share some of them?
Sure. Let me scroll back up to where they started. Some people commented last time that they have chickens, so that's pretty cool. So the kids get to help collect the eggs, gather the eggs. Charlotte
cool.
said she eats more vegetables than she probably should, so she needs to add more of a variety. Takia said introduce a new vegetable each week along with a new fruit. Oh man, my chat disappeared.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
That's
There.
okay.
I stopped it there.
Now it's all over the place.
I'm so sorry.
Let's see. Somebody mentioned something about, let me find where I was at. Smoothies with veggies and fruits daily. Takia said the children she has are from different parts of the world, so they might not know some of the foods. That's cool. Introducing them to those. Lindsay said, oh, I love smoothies. Kim said create new juice flavors by mixing the fruits and vegetables. Tommy and Nagila said, woo. They need to make sure that they're eating more vegetables in their accepted time meals. Annette said she's going to add fruit and protein such as cheese as a snack 2 hours before bed. Wava said more fresh fruit. And there went the comment because this is crazy. I couldn't imagine trying to do this by myself. More fresh fruit for breakfast and a fresh veggie for lunch and dinner. Drink more water and less Diet Coke. Kawana said, yeah, add a fruit to my breakfast when I eat breakfast. Also, I need more grain. I'm a snacker. Hey, I'm guilty of that too. So most definitely would trade a sweet for a healthy veggie. I personally need to break up with vanilla flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Break up.
Those are my weakness. Barbara said, oh gosh. Cut out sugar and drink more water. Brenda said more variety in vegetables, adding superfoods. Lindsay said create ethnic dishes from different cultures, which includes different fruits and veggies from the world. She wants to expand on that because they're so good. And Kawana has a weakness too. She needs to break up with Werther's.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Okay, next we're going to talk about sleep. So here's some ideas for making sure you get enough sleep. Set a bedtime alarm. Most adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. It varies from person to person. You're going to know your own body's set point. But I think most of us go through life chronically sleep deprived. Get up at the same time every day, including weekends and holidays. I get up at 4:30 Monday through Friday. I do not get up at 4:30 on Saturday and Sunday. But whatever works for you. Do something relaxing before bed, like reading a actual book and not on your device. Meditate, take a bath or a shower or something. Monitor your caffeine intake. Avoid heavy meals in the evening. Oops, sorry, I went the wrong way. Exercise regularly, but not right before going to bed. Avoid electronic devices right before bed. They say for about an hour before bed, because there's something about the blue light in it that keeps you awake. Limit alcohol intake. It may help you fall asleep, but it can also affect the quality of your sleep. What are some of your tips for getting enough sleep and rest? Do we have anything in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay.
I know my husband, he likes to drink chamomile tea.
I have a set time to go to bed.
My mother says she has a set time to go to bed, and
Yeah.
I probably need to start turning my TV off. I tend to go to sleep with it on.
Takia said a massage, which is great. And Kim said a hot tub and a glass of wine. Ooh. And Kelsey said a bedtime alarm.
Yep.
Kawana said she uses aromatherapy a lot and different oils. Annette said listen to soft music. Kelsey said melatonin. Tommy also said she uses oils too.
Okay.
I listen to Christian music before I go to bed. The
Nice.
soft Christian music.
Yeah. I use it's called like the Rain app, and you can put on, like, it has some free ones. It has some you can buy. I'm not buying any. But you can set like a sleep timer, and it'll kind of slowly fade out, but it'll play like white like rainstorms, or it's got different things. But it really helps me, especially if I'm not at home, to kind of soothe myself to sleep. And I'm a big fan of having a fan. I have to have a fan on all the time in my bedroom. Anybody else got any tips? Is there anything else in the chat? I see it.
Yeah.
Going up.
And people are agreeing with you about yes to the fan and yes to listening to the rain. And so they're a yes to the fan. Let's see. I also have blackout curtains in my bedroom because I like it to be dark. Let's see. Turn off the TV and make it dark. Yes, dark. A lot of people like it dark like me.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the effects of long-term sleep deprivation. memory issues, trouble thinking and concentrating, mood changes, accidents, weakened immunity, increased risk of high blood pressure and diabetes, weight gain. And I read somewhere that the effects of sleep deprivation on like your driving response times can be the same as being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So it could be just as bad to drive while you're extremely sleepy as it is to drive when you've drank or used drugs. It can be just as dangerous. So now it's time to make your plan for getting enough sleep. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to work on that. And whenever you're ready to start sharing, you can type in the chat and Heather or Renee will share, or you can unmute yourself and share.
I have an alarm that tells me the time that I need to go to bed.
Okay, bedtime alarm. What else? Heather, as soon as some start popping up in the chat, you and Renee can start sharing.
Several people have said create a bedtime routine, going to bed the same time every night to give your body a signal. Setting the bedtime routine. Let's see. Bedtime routine, set an alarm for turning off the TV and meditate with Christian music.
Okay, anybody else want to share?
Turn off the TV and the phone 30 minutes earlier and read a book. My problem with reading is that I get so interested in the book, I would stay up later than I needed to. Turn off TV earlier and not drink Diet Coke before bed. Listen to soft music instead of watching TV. Lindsay said same, and Takia said me too. Are you talking about the reading, girls? You get so interested in the book, you just keep going. Yeah. I did that all the time when I was in high school. I'd be 4 o'clock in the morning staying up because I wanted to finish the book.
I used to always get in trouble because I'd read under my covers with a flashlight.
Yeah. Thankfully my bedroom was upstairs and my mom didn't come up there often enough to check on me. So
all right, any others to share before we go on to the next thing?
Kawana said, I would catch myself watching something boring to snooze off, turn off the movie. Turn off the movie is good. A book is better than a device. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, any others? Okay, what is stress? How would you define stress? I think for most of us right now, we might define it QRIS, but anybody have a definition of stress?
Let's see. Kawana said yes, and there was an answer before her if I can find it. Eeh. Yes, Takia says more pressure than we need. And Kim said daily operations. Tommy said anxiety. Barbara said physical tension. Kelsey said overwhelming feeling that you feel when you're not in control. Brenda said worrying about things instead of making a plan.
So the dictionary definition that applies to what we're talking about tonight is a physical, chemical, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. Stress is caused by a stressor, an event or happening that is inviting a response. Stress comes in all shapes and sizes, good or bad. The birth of a baby is a very happy time, but it's also a stressful time. A wedding, very happy time, but also a stressful time. Death of a loved one. And the thing about it is your body reacts to good stress and bad stress in much the same way. So when you're under stress, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. This hormone can become toxic to your brain when you're under constant stress and have no way to alleviate it. So, at signs of stress, some ideas. Retreat. Take a short break from the situation if possible. Talk to someone you trust. Move. And I mean, that could just be take a walk around the room, go get a drink of water, and deep breaths. Quite simply put, you have to take care of yourself. No one else can do that for you. Take a break or you will break. That's from Dr. Marilyn Applebaum. So what kind of breaks can you take? And look at this in two different ways. Both like in the moment of stress, like when it's facing you right here, and long term, like making sure you get enough exercise, making sure you're eating healthy, making sure you're getting enough sleep. But you need to have a plan for how you're going to deal with stress when it's right here in front of your face. So what are some of any ideas you want to share?
The stress of losing my husband, one thing that I did was I just stepped away from everything for just to, because I have young children, so I couldn't step too, far. But I just went in the room, closed the door, and just took a breath. Just sat and just had my me time. And then when I was calm enough, I just went back out.
Thank you for sharing. Heather, do we have anything in the chat to share, or Renee?
Yes. Let's see, let me get down to where I need to breathe. Short breaks to collect myself also. Pray, breathe, exercise more, eating better and taking time away from myself, breathing. Charlotte shared that she has 2 of her granddaughters for almost 2 weeks because their mom was admitted to a mental health hospital and she often feels like she's going to fall apart. But her assistant is helping her more by keeping the girls so she can shower and get groceries and have some alone time. You guys are carrying a lot. Deep
Yeah.
breaths, an outdoor walk. I plan on more rest and more breakaway time, time for myself to breathe and pray.
Okay, here's some real simple things. Sing a song. I'm going to age myself with this, but one of my favorite songs that I used to like to sing, well, still do, but is the song from Hee Haw, Gloom, Despair, and Agony on Me. Does that ring a bell with anybody?
Yes, it does. Tracy.
Yes.
Yeah. And it would always make me laugh. Either that or the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. I would sing those. Wash your hands with warm soapy water and concentrate on how it feels. Exercise, move, do some stretches, some jumping jacks, walk around the room, drink some water, plan a dream vacation. Anybody have anything they want to add? Do we have anything new in the chat, Heather?
Several people said they enjoy singing. That's what I like to do too. Just turn on the music and have my own little concert. But yes, people remembered your song too.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one. Sometimes if I'm with a bunch of young people, when I mention that song, they're all just looking at me like, what? So
Yeah.
Probably don't even know what hee haw is.
I know, right?
Right. Buck Owens.
Uh-huh. So something else about stress. It matters what you say to yourself when you're stressed. If you're saying to yourself, I can't deal with this, I can't handle this, this is too much, you're increasing your stress response. So I call it like rewriting my script. Rethink what you can say to yourself. What you say to yourself matters. I can handle this. I will get through this. I will figure this out. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Last spring, the business consultants went to a conference down in Austin, and my flight was originally supposed to be nonstop, and then they changed it where I was going to have to change planes. Well, I was absolutely freaking out about that because I was worried about losing my luggage. I was worried about making it, all of that. And every time I would start thinking about it, I would just start like ratcheting myself up. And finally, I was like, okay, you know what? I can handle this. I changed it, or I fixed it to where I didn't have to check my luggage. So I didn't have to worry about my luggage making it there because I was just going to keep it with me. And then every time I would start getting stressed, I would say, you can handle this. You will figure it out. It will be okay. You're a smart person. And it really helped like calm me down. So remember that what you say to yourself matters. And that's true in life in general. And most of us are not very nice to ourselves. So be nicer to yourself, please. And just as an aside, if you like to read, there's a great book called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. by Shad Helmstetter. And it is so good. So let's make a plan for managing your stress. How are you going to work on managing your stress? And I'll give you a couple of minutes to work on that, and then we'll share. Okay, anybody or Renee, would you like to share some of the ones in the chat?
Sure. I'll go backwards and maybe I'll be able to, no, maybe not. Hold on. Let's see here. So it says, wait a minute. Okay. I don't know. Hold on. I like to speak nicely to yourself. It's going to be fine. I can do this, etc. Step away from the situation for a bit. Let's see. If it's not important at the moment, sleep on it before you respond. And if I say this name wrong, Nigella has to learn to say no. Too many tasks are stressful. Please God, not man. Tommy will see more and spend time with just her and the Lord. Tell myself I can get through it by not letting the little things bother me. Focus on the things that are life-changing. Let's see. Music is very healing. Deep breaths and outdoor walks. I plan to go on more rest and more breakaway. Time for myself. Breathe and pray. And if I've missed anything, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Give it to God.
I see like Rebecca and Kelsey said they like loud music, like a loud jam session. Charlotte tells herself she's got this. Sitting on a fence post, hitting on my left knee, chewing on my bubble gum. Oh my goodness, yes. Herman the Worm, is that right? I love that song. And Tootie Taw. Everybody know Tootie Taw? Anyway. I can get a little weird, guys. Sorry.
You're okay, Tracy.
All right. So thank you guys for sharing. And we're going to go on to talking about professional development. And professional development is a great way of taking care of yourself. I mean, what you're doing tonight is professional development. And it's a great way to take care of yourself because you learn you're not alone in what you're facing every day. You get to talk to other professionals. You get to hopefully laugh and have a good time. And just spend time with other people. So what are some of the benefits of engaging in professional development? Which I think I just I just listed all of them without even going to the slide. So knowing you're not alone, learning new things, and spending time with other adults. It also aids in teacher retention. It's especially important during the first few years of being a teacher because it gives strategies to cope with the stress. It gives a deeper subject knowledge, and we should aim to be lifelong learners. Collaborative environment. It gives us the chance to work together with others. And spending time, I think some of the most valuable ideas and things that come out of these classes are the things that you share with each other. Not anything I have to say, but the things you share with each other. Anybody have any other benefits of professional development they want to share?
I think, Tracy, that by talking with other teachers and having a collaborative environment and stuff, you learn how, like a child that's hard to work with, they have solutions to that. Some of them do different things, and you can say, oh, well, did that work for you? I can try that and see if it works for me.
Thank you. Anybody else? And I found this little snippet and I just thought it was so good. She says, Nancy Morella says, I believe that professional development is important to early childhood educators because it allows individuals to share, network, and remain current in the field. It's an ongoing process which prepares early childhood educators to develop and expand upon their skills and knowledge. And you are probably already familiar with the Oklahoma core competency areas. And we're going to look at those in just a minute. Try to balance your training in these 8 areas if you can, but also if you feel like you need improvement or you're struggling in an area, look for training in that specific area. So child growth and development, health, safety, and nutrition, child observation and assessment, family and community partnerships, learning environments and curriculum, interactions with children, program planning, development and evaluation, and professionalism and leadership, which is what this class falls under. So what you're going to do now is create a training plan, which again, this kind of goes back to QRIS. One of the things you have to do for QRIS is create a professional development plan where you plan out your training or what you want to do over the next year to grow yourself professionally. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you might want to do. If there's a certain class you have in mind that you wanted to take, if you're working on your CDA, if you're working on your associates or your certificate of mastery, whatever your plan is, I want you to write down something that you would like to do over the next year, to increase your professional development. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to work on that. And then we're going to go into talking about coping during crisis and brainstorming. So if you have anything you wanted to share, be ready to do that after we finish with this. And Heather, once we get a few in the chat, if you want to start sharing them, go ahead.
Okay, Lindsay says, I really want to expand in assessing the progress in our kiddos. Annette said, by communicating with other teachers, you can learn how to, oh gosh, how to use others who've been through your situation. Lindsay also said, we're working on getting accredited, so we are finishing the 120 hours that are required for us to do so. That's the major goal. Kim said, working aside teachers on tough days, sharing ways to improve, continuing ongoing education for refreshers. Takia said accreditation in business and preschool. And the one that mentioned assessing your children, I highly recommend the focus portfolio training that CECPD offers. It's a 20-hour, it's $20. And the first 2 sessions are 12 hours. And then there's another third session that's another $20 that is 6 hours. Is that right, Tracy?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And I highly recommend it because it gives you tips on how to assess your children and how to show how they're growing and they're learning and how to scaffold that learning. And I know that they're trying to form the class in different locations. They just had it in Ponca City over the past few months. I know in the like January or February, she's going to try to create a class in Tulsa for the people that are near that area. So I highly recommend that.
It is and it is fabulous. And you come, it is well worth the $40 because you get way more than $40 worth of materials out of that class. Way more.
And the name of the class, Charlotte, was Focus Portfolios. It's offered through CECPD. Brenda said she needs to help with lesson planning and assessing the children. Tommy and Nagila said taking more training. I can't scroll down for some reason. There it goes. Whoa. Wava said more training on leadership skills and organizations, more training with working with children with disabilities. That's been requested a lot. I hope that the state hears that need and they will start providing that.
Me too. Yeah.
Kawana says more training to prepare for a CDA. I don't know where you're located at, but they has started a CDA course in Ponca City, right?
They've started one. Yes. You can also do it online.
And Rebecca Morgan says, I want to learn more on the business side of daycare. Ooh. Dealing with difficult, and I can't get down there to see the rest of it. Difficult parents a little easier in tax purposes and such.
Thank you, guys. Are there any others? Anybody else want to share?
Yes, Tracy, I would like to just let you guys know that we became a 5-star center about 2 weeks ago. That's the one in Durant, the center in Durant.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Is there anything else in the chat, Heather, before we go on?
A couple of congratulations for Phyllis from several people.
Anybody else increase their
Yeah.
stars level or working on it? You can give a thumbs up or a yes
Tia
in the
said
chat.
yes. Kelsey said
Oh,
congratulations.
sorry, I just closed down my screen. Sorry about that.
And Lindsay said we did. Charlotte said she's working on it. Takia said she's 5 as well. Congratulations. That's amazing, you guys.
Yeah, it's exciting. All right, so let's talk about some of the we've got just a little bit of time left. So any crisis or anything that anybody wants to talk about and get some thoughts or feedback or support from other people?
Are you talking about in your own life or in the lives of the children?
Whatever. I
Whatever.
mean, what I'm saying is like probably more like dealing with like crisis in your life or offering support for families, whatever you want to do. But
Oh, okay. Like COVID-19,
what?
when COVID-19 hit and stuff, that sort of crisis. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, anything that's one crisis. I think
I
there's
feel like this is really minuscule, but we have a habitually late family, and it's really weighing heavy on my heart because they just like aren't getting it. But we have poured months into getting this little girl who's never been outside of her home, never been away from her parents, adjusted, and she's only part-time. So it's been very difficult because there's no consistency in her schedule to get her adjusted. So we've poured our time into this, but they're just not getting it. And I know that seems like not crisis, but it definitely is weighing heavy on my heart because like I avoid confrontation. I prefer to be with babies and loving on babies and doing all of that. The confrontation part of things is definitely tough for me.
yeah, and that's not minuscule at all. Now, do you mean late pickup?
Yes, late pickup. And our daughter she's 7 and she's in Girl Scouts and cheerleading. And so it's made us late to drop her off. So it's affecting our personal life. And that's not fair to our daughter who, knows and loves the daycare and enjoys that, but shouldn't be losing anything when we are supposed to be closed in time to care.
Any suggestions for Lindsay? Charlotte says start charging extra.
I don't know if it's a suggestion, but you need to nip that in the bud real quick because it's not gonna get better unless you nip it in the bud. I'm sorry. It's just, I know it's hard.
And I agree with that. And that's where I'm getting that anxiety because it's just really been last week and this week. So it's that time, like we are still well within that time to get it nipped in the bud. It's just like I've tried politely and now I'm going to have to do it more firmly. So it's just getting the courage. And I think I'm going to write a letter and sign it too, so that we have that for record as well, that conversation happened. And then that also can help in like construct the conversation because I can look down at that because I tend to like trip up over my words and stuff when I'm in those situations because it's just not my strong suit.
Right.
And I don't like people thinking I'm being mean, even if it's totally valid and totally like well within my right to be saying what I'm saying. I still am always scared that I'm going to come off as mean or something.
Okay, I have something. Okay, so I had a lady. Her contract was 4 a.m, and it was only supposed to be until 4 p.m, and it was only supposed to be 3 days with the occasional 4. By the end of the 6 months, she was coming 5 days a week with those same hours, no extra pay, no early drop-off fees. I wasn't charging that. And then finally, I just texted her and said that we're going to have to fix this and go back to the original contract hours. And then we just did, we put it into the contract that there is only 4 days a week that I will watch her child. And it's only one time a month that I'll do that. But you're just going to have to stand your ground. You're not mean. And it's really hard because I want the approval of all the parents, and I don't want to come off like disrespectful in any kind of way because that's not where I'm going and that's not my heart. And if they truly know you and what you stand for, I don't think that you're going to come off wrong ever. I think if you just kind of told them like, hey, we're going to sign this into the contract. If you're late for just because you're out shopping and gallivanting around and you know my pickup times at this time, you have 3 times and you are terminated. Because if you do not respect me and my family and what we have to also do, then it's only going to get worse. They're just going to keep trying to run you over.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. We do have it in our contract to charge extra. And so we are implementing that, and it's going to go back to the first time they were late. We've recorded all of that. So I think that's like the encouragement too that I need. Like, it's facts. We're stuck with the facts of it all. We're not being like, it's not in any way personally based. It's just like, hey, you have physically been here later than you were supposed to. You have a signed contract of when pickup time is, and this is where we're at. So like trying to leave out the personal details, but it does get me emotional because of the personal details.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, all of my babies are my babies. Like, and I tell their families, like, just know, like, you have them for the weekend, but I get them all day. They're mine. They're mine. Like, I take it pretty hardcore when a parent says something where they think I was off-putting or disrespectful. But I mean, just follow your gut, pray about it, give it to God, do what you can do, because first and foremost is you and your family. You're doing this for your family and to help everyone else. And you can't help everyone if you're not helping yourself and your family first.
That's very true. Very, very true.
Yeah, your care will not be good if you're just living on the edge.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's very supportive and very encouraging to hear. So thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully it will work out for you.
Lindsay, I have a suggestion for you.
I'm all ears.
Okay, this is Phyllis. First of all, just ask you, are you the teacher or are you a director?
So we own an in-home, and it's me and my partner, and we're 50-50 owners.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was gonna say, if you worked in a center, you know, and that happened, you could, you know, have some help from your director.
Right.
You know, and they would talk to the parent. Yes. And
yes, this is definitely our experience building moments that will help us grow into the caretakers we aim to be, for sure, because these are definitely test bumps that we haven't experienced yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And so what I was going to say too is that, you know, just be careful about coming off, you know, let's say judgmental or whatever, because, you know, we don't know the family situation until we get in there and see what the family, you know, what that dynamics are. I mean, there could be some legit reasons why this is happening.
So we've also tried to get some of that information too. And so our closing time is 5:30. And as we were digging in to get that information, we were finding out Dad was off by 5. And that actually made it more confusing because it's a 15-minute commute. And so we were kind of like, okay. And we were like, traffic, this and that. But like, we have always just asked for communication, and he's never said that there's traffic issues or that there's this or that. He's not a very quick person. So I think what happens is that he very slowly leaves his desk, very slowly does all of that, and probably chit chats a lot on the way out. And so I definitely don't want to be like, hey, put pep in your step, but also you need to put pep in your step.
Sure. Sounds like Pepsi, but a Pepsi.
And I think, Lindsay, didn't you say you just opened like 8 months ago, right?
Yeah, we're very new. So these are
a lot of that will come with experience, and but everybody's right. I mean, you do need to like address it right away, because the longer it goes on, the longer it's going to go on. I mean,
right. And I don't want it to affect the relationship, because we have poor, sweet little girl. So we definitely don't want to impact anything negatively. And I don't think it has to, as long as they stay fair on their side of it, because it is factually based on our side. It's
right.
I guess.
And I think the idea of writing it down to address it with them and is a brilliant, because it takes the emotion out of it.
Yes, and then you can draft it. You're not just like saying it and then, oh no, I shouldn't have said it that way. Like you can practice
Mhm.
and kind of prepare. Luckily, my partner is in on that, so I can practice with her as well. It's nerve-wracking.
It is. Yep. All right. Any others? I'd say we've got a couple of more minutes to discuss that, and then we're going to wrap up. So anybody else have anything else they want to talk about?
I want to say thank you, ladies. This is very informative, and it can help with what we have in our lives, what we can go through. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Patricia. Charlotte says she always starts with, I am concerned because. And I statements are very powerful rather than you're late all the time.
Mhm.
All right. So some of the things you guys asked for tonight was to stay motivated. Do you feel like you got some ideas for that?
Mm. Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Ways to take care of yourself better and take care of yourself as well as you take care of others. Do you feel like you got some of that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Some stress relief ideas. Do you feel like you got some easy stress relief ideas?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Ways to succeed in being healthy. Do you feel like you got some of that?
Yes.
And ways to take
Yes.
care of yourself while dealing with health issues.
Definitely. Yes.
Yes.
And my objectives were for you to learn about self-care and how it promotes dependability, time management, respect for others, independence and teamwork. Do you feel like we met that objective?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
And discuss how professional development opportunities are beneficial in self-care.
Yes.
Okay, now I have a little door prize I'm going to draw for. It's a book called The 2 Bite Club, and it's about healthy